hunting adventure. Cold spots, exactly.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, this is a legitimate FLIR Light Pro 1. Yeah. Well, the joke is normally, because I do a lot of bridal parties too, is I'm the hottest thing in the video. So, of course, my wife actually had to help me out on some tours last week because I pinched a nerve in my back, so I needed somebody to carry the bag. And of course, I couldn't pull that line with her here. So my groups did it for me, which was absolutely hysterical. But anyway, so we're literally going to be looking for cold spots with this. So blue and black are obviously going to be the cold spots because I'm red, orange, and yellow because my skin tone is going to be the warmest thing out here. So whoever has this, we're going to try to keep a person in view at all times. You know, it's a pretty cool night, like I was just explaining. So again, blue and black spots to move on their own. We're always going to have blue and black. Watch what happens when I leave the screen, and I'll pan around so everybody can see. The orange, red, and yellow are going to go to other locations. So we want to try to keep somebody in view at all times. The cool thing about this is that there's going to be a blue spot. Go ahead and take it. That one's yours. There's going to be a blue dot that bounces around the screen through your whole video. It's going to show us the coldest spot in the screen at that particular time.
My finger was covering it.
You also have, most people do that first.
Yeah, there.
And then you have a crosshairs right in the center in case you need to measure something directly. That's the way I have it set up.
Oh, wow.
The hardware for this is amazing. The software sucks. So, Trey, we're going to do a couple of start and stops throughout the night. Right now it is recording. When I say let's go ahead and stop your video, you're going to hit the orange square and it'll turn to a circle. And I'll always give you cues.
Okay. It's like exact. I've always wanted to have a thermal camera, so this is like a.
And I just upgraded that one a little while ago. So the last one wasn't that cool. Like it didn't have the blue dot that moved. It just gave you the center crosshair. So I was really excited to get this one.
Yeah, I like that.
Spirit boxes. We're going to be using several different types of spirit boxes tonight. So you guys all watch the TV shows?
Oh yeah. Probably too much.
She's like, here and there.
I live alone.
Fair enough. So I'll explain what they are. So, spirit boxes are a way for us to actually communicate with the dead. So this is going to sweep through FM radio stations at a quick rate. On your TV shows and YouTube videos, this is the white noise. Right? So it's usually just white noise on your TV shows. Mine are a little different. You guys aren't used to listening to this guy. So I have them slowed down on purpose. I want the radio, the DJs, the song lyrics, I want that stuff to come through. So I want it, whatever we can make out of it, it's a 50-50 shot that I could tie it to the location, a person in history I'm talking about, or even something going on with one of us. So it happens all the time. The cool thing about this one is that it's going to record the entire session for us. So even on mute, so when I tell Naomi to go ahead and turn it down, it's fine. It's still recording at a nice even level. And it doesn't record any of us. So it's just the radio sweep. So tomorrow morning when I give this recording back to you, there will be 15 to 20 markers in there of things that I found, and I'll be writing down things that we hear in real time as well. But even if they're not relevant, it's just helping to train your ear on how to listen to the whole recording. You guys, 6 people tonight, you're going to record a good 5 to 7 hours worth of data. I'm not going to go through it all. That's what you guys paid me for, right? So, again, with this said, I'm only going to spot check this. I listen to about a minute for every 5. And then whatever I hear out of it is what I write down and give you back. So if you guys find more, obviously, you find more, which is more than likely. You have one button to worry about on your end. There's a wheel at the very top. You'll just control the volume. Obviously, when I'm talking to the whole team, you'll want to keep it down, but you're going to control the volume so that it's audible to you.
It's like
Yeah.
We're going to put 2 spirit boxes in tandem with you two, just because these are a little different. So this, we're going to use 3 different types of spirit boxes tonight.
I thought it was something simple or nothing at all.
I'm trying to think what do I have left that I want to go through. So we need a K2 millimeter, 2 spirit boxes. So you can probably still, let's go with this one on you then. Okay. I think this will work out just fine. The reason why is because this one doesn't record, but his camera records audio. So in the event they hear something together, hopefully we'll be able to catch it with them. So this one does the exact same thing. It's going to sweep through FM radio stations. It just doesn't record. So you also only have one button to worry about. It's a little, it's right here on the side. You just hold it up gently and then hold it down gently when I obviously am talking to the whole group. So get a feel for where that's at. We'll make things nice and simple for you then.
Okay.
So yours is a lot different than theirs. It doesn't make any noise. It's going to give us a word from time to time in the middle of the screen. I'm I'm going to show you the whole group before I hand it off.
Interesting.
So it's going to save all of those words to a list once it comes up. So the last tour I did had 91 terms. That's about average for a 2-hour tour. I'm going to clear them out so you guys actually start off fresh. 80% of what comes out of this app is absolute BS. I'm just going to put it out there. It doesn't mean anything. It's meant to be a game and a hoax. The game we're playing is what words are coming up that are from a ghost, which ones are from the app. So the other 5 to 20%, I'll always tell you why it's relevant and then give you the back link of where I got my information. These are not going to be yes and no questions that we're asking tonight. It's going to be very specific detail.
Okay.
She's like, ooh.
So do I not have to do anything?
You won't have to do anything. At time, I'm going to say, Shannon, where are we at with the list? You'll hit the little white box right there, and you'll be able to scroll through it and then circle back. That's it. 2 buttons.
We're not even on the block yet. As long as you know. See what the sky. I'm just
So you guys have all seen these on the TV shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh, yeah, Lucy.
electromagnetics. Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep this one nice and simple because your hands are going to be tied. Electronics will make this guy go off too, just so you guys know.
Oh,
So
nice.
cell phones, wires, anything like that. It just helps us debunk a lot of things that are going off pretty quickly. So of course, parking meters are going to make it go off as well. So again, but this is just a great detector so you guys know where to stop and where to actually ask questions at. So it doesn't make any noise, nor does it vibrate, so you just kind of have to keep an eye on it.
We turn our cell phones off.
No, you're good. I'm going to keep this one with me because I'm going to hand something else to you. Well, let me demonstrate what this guy is first. So this is what I call a millimeter. It actually has 3 different functions.
Oh, yeah.
So the first function is it does have electromagnetic fields just like his, only it measures it digitally.
Yeah.
The bottom actually tells me if your cold spot is legit or debunked. So it actually measures ambient temperature based on this yellow probe. And then it also has a REM pod built into it. So if anything gets close to the antenna, it will go off.
That's so cool.
So
Yeah.
the closer it gets, obviously the higher it's going to go. It gets a little wonky when you first turn it on. So I'll just kind of keep this one in my side pocket because I have one more device that I definitely want to break out for you guys.
You got the second thing I was wanting to check out, so that's cool.
This is like this.
The spirit box.
It sounds like there's a radio station playing.
All right, so we're going to get a little complicated with
Ooh.
yours.
Ooh. A camera.
GoPro.
Noise. Me?
Yeah, you'll be just fine.
Wait, what?
So notice you guys cannot see me in the screen. It should be pretty dark in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so pretty dark. Can you see down there, Naomi? We're going to turn on some lights that you can only see through the camera. So we're working with full spectrum lighting.
Oh my god.
Nice.
So
That's so cool.
with this, we're looking for things that we normally wouldn't be able to see with the naked eye. So things hopefully popping up out of the darkness, all kinds of things. This is still relatively new. We have very little evidence from this guy so far. So hopefully we'll be able to capture some tonight. That one goes to you. I'm going to show you more about that at our first stop. All right, now that everybody's got some kind of craziness, I think everybody's device records just about something. Wow, you guys made the bag a whole lot lighter. It's going to make my head go easier. Might have to just give it to Scott. He's got the full load anyway, right?
I'll carry the backpack if you want.
All right, so
I'm used to it.
questions, comments, concerns so far? Like,
Are we supposed to be quiet and not
no, not yet. We're getting there.
All right,
Oh, this
okay.
is interactive.
talk? Okay,
She's like, is this like teacher classroom session? Love it. And it's usually
I
the
raise my
kids.
hand
Yeah,
for
the
a
kids are
question?
usually the ones. Yeah, the kids are usually the ones answering it. So we're gonna talk about Big John's because obviously we're next to it, right? So Big John's, it says established 1955, but it literally just reopened up back, I don't know, 6-7 weeks ago now, as Big John's. It's been a couple of things in between, but Big John was a football player from the 1947 New York Giants. This was his bar. So he used to sit in the back of the bar, and he would tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. And one night, 2 guys come in, they're not old enough. So, tells the bartender, throw them out. They leave pretty angry. They come back the next night, and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Obviously, that doesn't make John very happy, so he gets up away from the bar, just starts pounding these guys, just beating the heck out of them, right into the floor. A couple of gunshots go off. John gets hit in the neck, and the bullet lands in the wall. John, after being shot, gets up and goes back to the bar, tells the bartender to get him another beer, gets the 2 guys on the floor, an ambulance.
Oh my god.
So,
What?
first things first is John's the only one that got shot, he's the only one that got up. Second, nobody died in that story, so what's haunting the place? The bullet hole is allegedly still here. After the renovations, I haven't been able to get back in there to go check, because I need to root around and find where it is, because I can't remember, it's been 2 years. But people that sit in the front of this bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, headaches. those kind of light symptoms. I bring this up on purpose because I don't know how paranormal activity is going to affect any of you. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be dealing with actual paranormal activity. If anybody feels any of those light symptoms, headache, nauseous, or passing out, I need to know immediately to get us all to safety. I will say that last week was probably the first instance I had in over a year. The young lady passed out, and I'll explain that story once we get there because it'll make a whole lot more sense once we're there. That is literally the scariest thing I will probably tell you all night.
Oh my God.
So, let's not talk about our own health. Because Shannon's looking a little worried right now. She's like, what did I sign up for? Big earthquake here in 1886, same building. If you didn't know that, every Charleston tour talks about this earthquake. I'm going to bring it up several times. So apparently this is where the first death occurred from that earthquake. The mantle you see in the middle also wraps around the front on the East Bay side. A piece of it broke off, struck somebody in the back of the head, and killed him. And they say you could see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Now, I said apparently and allegedly a lot with that story because I don't have any proof of it. It's just a great segue, so Shannon's not thinking about getting sick on the tour. So, are you guys ready to go ghost hunting?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to roll this way.
Nice. After you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so hyped. It's literally what I want to do for a living. I'm all about the fucking. Oh yeah. I'm all about this.
And just so everybody
Look at
knows,
this.
it's going off already. Yeah, I'm not surprised. And sometimes it'll start on our way in here, and sometimes it waits until we leave.
No, it's all the way up to orange.
Yep. So you're at 15 milligauss, and actually I record the data
The
from
higher
that
you
as
get,
well.
the brighter it goes. Look, now it's red.
Is something above us?
It
Oh.
changes from night to night. I never know where it's actually going to start lighting up.
I will look
And
around.
sometimes it'll start right here at the top of this. Sometimes it'll wait till you leave. Like, hey, wait a minute, I got a few things to say. So
Right there.
we're not close enough to the building for that to be going off like that either. Just so you know.
Well, as soon as you bring it down, you'll
And it's gonna move. Like, it's not gonna
That's
go all the way up
crazy.
to red again. That's why they call it ghost hunting. You gotta move around. All right, so let's talk about where we are before we get too excited about blinky blinkies. So I know it's exciting to see something go off, but it is still, you gotta find out why it's going off. This is what I call the big red barn line. This is where we keep the horses for your carriage rides. Okay, so the horses are in the front of the barn. So those of you with the spirit boxes that make noise, you want to keep them audible to 1 or 2 people only. They don't like the white noise. They will kick the wall and scare the heck out of all of us, and we will all run screaming. So the history here is very simple. This is usually just because you got to imagine that sometimes I have groups of 10. This is where I stop with everybody and show you more tactics with your device, and I keep the history nice and short. This is the same red barn that held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. So, spirit boxes. We have 3 of them out here. This is not television. This is not, is somebody here? Because if somebody says no, somebody's here. They answered you. Like, we're going to stay away from all of those yes and no questions. There's always a way to reword it. If somebody's here, tell me what color the big red barn is. Obviously, we're looking and listening for the color red. This one's going to be super simple, by the way. Like I said, we're only going to spend like 5 minutes here. In the event you don't get the word red out of your spirit boxes, 2 of you are using spirit boxes that are using DJs and song lyrics to convey messages. So the word red might not be coming out of a DJ's mouth or a song lyric, but the word fire truck, blood, or heart, all 3 of those things are very specifically red. What color is the big red barn? Heart. Acceptable answer. However, we're still close to Big John's Tavern. His teammates like to come through from time to time. If you get the word art on your word list and then you hear the number 40, Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. That's a verification. I usually require 2 clues unless it's a direct answer, like what color is the big red barn. So, again, you're going to see throughout the night these stories that I'm going to go through have multiple people with the same names. Charleses, Elizas, Georges. You just got to think of the time periods. So we need to know who the heck we're talking to. So we always look for 2 clues, unless it's a direct answer. In the event you don't get a fire truck, blood, heart, red, open it up. What's inside the big red barn? Horses. They were delivery horses. They delivered milk and eggs, which could also be protein and calcium. So again, we're looking for clues and messages that actually make sense to the question. So again, I told you specific details. That's what we're actually after. spirit boxes, you guys can actually go ahead and get started. We are going to stay within the confines of the slot. I am going to work with the two cameras for just a minute or two. But the rest of you, I kind of want you to get used to how your spirit boxes work. Once you guys start getting red readings on your K2 meter, that's pretty much where you guys can stop rolling and start asking questions pretty heavy. But again, try to stay away from those yes or no questions and see what we can get out of it. I just need you to get used to listening to it, and then we're going to really dive into a couple 100-year-old history after this spot. This is just practice, so that way we can get things rolling. All right, two cameras. Follow me. Everybody else can spread out. All right, so for yours, it's not recording right now. Because I'm sure you can see you only have 90 minutes worth of recording, right? It's the biggest SD card that it will take. It only takes 90 minutes, so we're kind of savoring yours. So point the camera at me for a second. So see how I'm in like this purple, pinkish hue, right? So if my hand or somebody gets real close, it's going to bleach out. You have a short range light right here, so there's a little red button, and you still have long range going, so things can still pop up in the background. So that way you can actually, if you're in a group of people or however, it's going to be really hard to see with that thing on there, so just turn it on. Use your own discretion. I don't really care either way. It's going to be your video at the end of this. As far as these top switches go, the top one up here is doing long range, which is already turned on. So there's 4 of them here versus 2 here. This bottom one, just watch your eyes because it gets a little bright, is night vision. I don't use night vision simply because all the other tours already don't like me because they take their business and I don't want to draw any more attention. So
no night vision.
Yeah, no night vision. So just leave that one alone. After the next story, like when I'm giving you some history at the next location, this red button up here is going to be your record button. You'll just tap it until it starts flashing, and at 9 minutes and 26 seconds, it will reset a new file, so it's nothing paranormal. So don't get excited like, oh, it flickered. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. It's just starting a new file. What happens is I end up splicing them all together for you guys, so you just have one video. That's why it does that, because the files for this are huge. But really what I'm looking for when I'm watching the video is not inside that purple hue. It's literally in the darkness. I'm looking for things around the purple hue that should not be able to reflect light. Like me, I'm solid. I reflect light. So something else, a specter of some sort, is going to come through. Hopefully it's going to come through out of the darkness and we'll be able to see it using your long range. Pretty crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Very. Very.
So as far as your camera goes, let's move down and point your camera at the wall and watch how it bleeds out. So it should...
It's like... pretty...
Normally it's all red, but I wanted to point out that once my hand gets into view, the wall should turn blue.
Yes.
Because obviously my skin tone is going to be way warmer. So, what's your crosshair say? Just want to make sure it's...
97?
It's a little off. Go ahead and hit the stop button. Give it a second, and then we're going to restart it. Oops. Hit it again. Calibrate better. Should be down in the 70s and 80s now.
75.
Okay, perfect. So again, try to keep somebody's skin tone. We don't have a huge group tonight, but we have enough people where you can try to keep that on somebody.
Okay.
And at the next location, once we're all in a full investigation mode, I will show you some evidence of what I actually caught with this thing, so you have a better gist of what you're looking for.
Okay.
But again, it already sounds like you're super stoked. Like I don't need anything, man. You gave me a thermal camera.
Well, I'm here to learn as well. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting tool, only because it doesn't capture something every night. But unless you're watching it thoroughly, that's when you really catch the weird things that should not be happening within the thermals. On your recording tomorrow, you will not have this cheat sheet bar. You see how you have a high temperature and a low?
Yes.
That will not be on your recording. So that's only used for live only.
Okay.
So again, if you see something, go super low, like you're in the 80s here, you got 65 down there.
Super cold in the window.
Yeah, I would say if you get any, that says in the 40s. Oh, that's because you got the sky in view. So
that's cold in there. It's like 57 in there.
Now, but the sky, if it's in view on the camera, it's automatically, the blue dot will default to the sky.
Okay.
Because it doesn't know what to measure.
Gotcha.
There's nothing solid there. So that's when your temperature is going to go super low. So I would say some of these places it's going to be hard not to have the sky in view, and that's where I just have to watch where things are moving around when I'm spot checking it.
Okay.
But pretty simple to use. Again, it doesn't capture something every night, but at the same time, we won't catch it if we're not recording.
Right.
So
just keep it kind of like level.
Yeah, nice slow movements.
Okay.
And you want to always keep that camera on your left. What happens is when I splice those videos together, if you flip it on the next recording, YouTube doesn't know you flipped it. So that next portion of the video will be upside down.
Okay.
So just make sure it's always on the left.
Nice. So you have YouTube. I need to follow you. Where
Well, I only
like all
use
your
YouTube
info?
for this stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like, and it still goes back to my website, so that way all your data's in one spot.
Okay.
So I just use it because it's easier to compress. Instead of having a bunch of video on my website, slowing it down, I just have an embedded video file.
Okay.
So it just makes things a whole lot easier. Obviously, I'm somewhat of a techie.
Okay.
So
That's the thing I'm kind of like new at is the tech. I've been into this sort. I've got crazy stories. Just crazy stories. My old house was
documenting it, like
insane.
just write it down. That's the easiest way. So that way you don't forget what you're looking at.
Okay.
So, but we'll talk more because
Yeah.
I do more than just this with paranormal stuff.
Okay.
Like I have the podcast. I'm doing another investigation this weekend. I just got back from the St. Augustine Lighthouse. Like, this
Cool.
is my livelihood. This is how I make my money.
Yeah, that's
So-
an awesome job. I was telling my wife that's kind of like I'd love to do that. It'd just be fun.
I'll show you some more stuff as we kind of go throughout the city too. Because I have more tools in the bag.
Okay. Did you catch anything? Did you get anything? I'm gonna try to get something in the bushes.
Can I ask you something?
What's the street name we're on? Can you tell me your name?
I asked something about the barn and it said John. And I was like, John.
What color is the car in the parking lot? What color is the car in the parking lot? Let's walk closer. It's picking up radio signals.
Yeah, it's doing like DJ stuff. And like
There's somebody in that car. I think. No, there's just a hat on. Okay. I'm gonna pan this way. Go stand next to that. Yeah. Ask it something in the corner. Ask them. Just ask it something.
What color is the red barn? Can you tell me your name? Is anybody here?
It is okay to show yourself. Can you go stand next to the car?
What's on your word list? Anything specific?
Why is it all red? Wouldn't it be all blue?
No, it's the right temperature.
Oh.
It's like outside 77.
Let's go learn some real history, guys. Let's go dive into a couple of 100 years old now, instead of football players and ponies. Have you heard anything on yours?
No, not really. Oh, my hip. Oh my god, my hip hurts.
I want to get touched. That'd be amazing. I'm gonna actually record this building. See if I can't get anything colder.
So, welcome to another beautiful site of Charleston. Just go ahead and turn yours down, because I definitely got to give you some history in here so you know what you're listening for or watching for. But yeah, another parking lot, right? If you guys don't know where to park, I don't know how to help you. So this actually used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. So their mansion actually sat in the front of this lot facing East Bay Street, which is an oddity for Charleston. We'll talk more about that later. Eliza's garden was lined up with that tree over there and came all the way across. And back here, we're standing where the servant slave quarters would have been for the night. So, Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles, and they had a nephew named Charles. There's 3 Charleses right there. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Pretty big deal for us, but you guys are all on vacation. Nobody wants to talk about politics, including me. So, by the way, with your spirit boxes, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there. You're going to get the answers from your spirit box, and then whatever's left out there before we leave, I'll give you the remaining answers. So, Eliza and Charles got married, and Eliza was pretty young. I'm not going to tell you how old she was, but Charles was over double her age. So, again, you can ask about her marriage and how old she was. I know, it sounds creepy, but it's really not as bad as you think. So, with that said, she married Charles because her father over in England thought he was dying, and he wanted to see all of his kids one last time. Eliza didn't think he was dying, so she stayed put and she got married. This is the 1740s. No such thing as a green card, or this an arranged marriage for this. She actually married him out of love. So again, she was right. Dad didn't die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts over from England over here to Charleston. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. You're wearing it right now because that's how we still use it. So she started with it right here, experimented with it by learning from her slaves how to keep it cultivated in our colder temperatures, and then she moved it to a plantation in Mount Pleasant. Then she calls her dad up, not literally because it's the 1750s now, and says, I need somewhere to sell this because the rice plantations here are starting to go downhill. So he starts giving her contacts overseas. Now we have an international businesswoman in colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of for this time. So again, I'm just giving you the scrape of the surface of what she's done for this country, but there's a lot of weird facts that you guys are going to ask about with your spirit boxes. So, first off, the marriage question. You already have that. So, the mansion is another one. It's obviously not here anymore. You can ask what happened to it, and then when did that happen? So again, very specific things. So, numbers, dates, tragedies, whatever it might be. Anything you want to about Eliza's death, she's pretty open. Hey Eliza, how old were you when you died? What did you die from? Where are you buried? What president was a pallbearer at your funeral? Like, these are very specific questions. So again, just depends on how you ask it, and always address her directly, so that way she knows it's directed at her. Now sometimes things will come up that are not related to her. It might be the husband, it might be one of her kids. As far as the kids go, tread lightly. There is a tragedy among one of those kids, and if you poke the bear too much, she'll stop. Like, our K2 meter is actually going off pretty good over here. All activity literally will stop. I've seen it dozens and dozens of times where somebody gets a little too curious about what that tragedy was, and then I don't have anything to hand back to you guys because that's a bunch of empty recordings. So just tread lightly with that one. Just get some names, how many boys, how many girls, how many kids total. Just leave it alone. Trying to think what else. I think about covers. Oh, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza Charles. So far we're dealing with 3 Charleses and 2 Elizas. Both Eliza's maiden name starts with the letter L. So if you want to ask about the maiden name, look, I've explained what a maiden name is to this group, which is nice. So go ahead and ask. But again, we are going to spend a good 10 minutes here just to kind of see what happens. If the evidence I'm seeing coming through as I'm bouncing around with all of you is kind of prominent, we'll stay a few extra minutes. Sorry, it's my wife letting me know she's home okay. But we'll kind of see how this goes. I have yet to have a tour that this particular location did not bring us something. Now you're jumping into the reds. So on your K2 here. So again, we definitely have something going on already. So we'll kind of see how this is going to roll. Video cameras, people do not like their cars being filmed. So if you see somebody going to the car, just walk the other way. They don't know what we're doing. We're definitely going to get your video started. And then Trey, once I get everybody checked in, I'm going to come find you first, so I can show you that little bit of evidence that I found with that particular camera here.
All right.
All right. Have some fun in here. Start spreading out. I'm going to check you guys in. Give me just a few minutes. I'll start bouncing around with all of you.
I would go from dumpster to car and then make your way around.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a good question.
else?
actively asking questions.
Yes, very interactive. Some people, what's funny is most people will ask me, am I supposed to ask this out loud? Yes. We're not going to read your thoughts. We're going to let them hear you.
Very cool. So I'm trying to like record them as they're walking around. Maybe they attract something. Catch it.
So it's a possibility. Again, with this particular camera, it's literally about like when you're using it live like this, watching the variations in that sidebar, and then seeing what black and blue spots are going to move on their own.
Okay.
But this lot is, I mean, we obviously have asphalt here, but it starts to break up into gravel. There's some mud up there, so you're going to see different variations of temperature even on the ground. So like we say, well, there's blue on the ground. Well, it's not moving, so I don't really care about it unless it starts forming into something, or you know, it's obviously reached some kind of potential of turning into blackness, because it's obviously going to be set up to white hot, black cold.
Right.
So the more blue and black you have, the easier it is to find things. Bring up that quick video. Kind of give you the gist of. So this occurred right up in that top right corner about a year ago. It's probably one of my best pieces of evidence. The orange is the wall, as I'm sure you can realize that. Oh, I don't want that video. There's two living people walking past. I left that in there for reference. Did you see the two orange heads?
I did.
Okay, so we're going to fast forward and find the two dead people. They're going to be coming the opposite way past the wall, and there's always somebody in view. So this guy will pop into view, two heads.
Oh my goodness.
The funny thing is they called me up there because they thought they saw some shadows, and I went there to go debunk things. I didn't catch this till the next day. So firemen and mechanics use that thing on the daily. So whenever I have one on my tour, I always send it to them and say, tell me what you see in this guy, and they'll frame by frame it. And I've had Zoom calls with them, and they're like, yep, that's definitely not a car. It's not, you know, you can see two heads. Like,
clearly.
You know what I mean?
It was quick too.
Yeah.
They're tall. I mean, they're taller than the fence.
Would have been a little. That isn't as tall as you think over there, because the ground is still level, like the sidewalk. So, again, you would normally think that it was a car, but when you frame by frame it, you could see two heads, like kind of overlapping each other. So
immediately saw that.
But there's I mean, I have lasers that I use and all kinds of stuff, but we're getting ready to upgrade some of this equipment.
Yeah.
We're going to be adding an SLS camera to the tour.
Nice.
So that'll be a new camera out here.
Gear is not cheap. I've been looking at this.
No, it's not.
This alone is.
Well, you're playing with a $500 camera and then a $700 phone. So you're holding $1,200 in your hand right now.
No pressure.
It's all insured.
I got
and that's
steady.
actually a construction phone with a construction case on it.
Yeah.
So it's been dropped. No worries.
Okay. A little better now.
Well, the battery pack on the back is just keeping the camera charged. So the camera will only last for an hour.
Okay.
So the fact that it's got a little bit more weight to it just kind of helps the fact that it's not going to be dropped.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm like bracing.
It's Velcroed on the back. It's not coming off of there.
Okay.
We're also going to be probably adding a handle to that. Like I was looking at one of the gimbals. It's just not going to work with the battery pack that's on the back. So we definitely want a stabilizer on there, just so that you guys can actually see the full video. But I'll probably just end up doing like a selfie sticks kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Just so that it's a lot easier to handle.
That must be the air conditioning unit.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sorry, long banana in
No,
your face.
you're okay.
But with yours, like you're literally trying to keep somebody in view, which looks like we have a person right there.
Yeah.
And don't watch the timer. Don't worry about that. All you need to worry about is this guy here. But yeah, the podcast is, I took a year off to finish up my master's degree, and now I got our first episode. I just hired a co-host. She's with another team, and we're doing an investigation on Saturday, but we got to cover the St. Augustine piece first, just because I had a whole team down there that's waiting on the evidence. So I told them, I was like, I'm going to put it in the podcast. Like, that's money for me. So
yeah, for sure.
So they're going to have to wait and listen until I get it recorded. But yeah, just nice slow movements on that.
Okay.
That's another reason why we want to get the handle on it.
something?
Not really.
Let's ask names.
I did. I don't know what else this is so fucking awkward. I'd rather just use the camera. Like,
Just pretend it's not awkward for a minute. What is that?
what's that? Isn't that the hole in the gate right here?
That is in the shape, a round shape. Maybe it's just the gate. It could be just tripping.
It looks like just the...
Let's see the temples.
It looks like the door right here. Can I ask you something?
What about the story? Ask about the story.
I did!
Did you ask what her name? Can you tell us your name? I guess that's louder. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. He caught some crazy. He caught 2 heads coming across this.
Who?
That guy.
Oh my god.
Our guide did.
Eliza, can you tell me your name?
Well, don't say your name.
You're supposed to.
Can you come stand next to the box and tell us your name?
You're getting a whole bunch of nothing.
My wife's name is Kayla. Can you stand next to her? Did you have a husband? What was his name?
Eliza, what was your husband's name?
Anything?
Just picking up radio stations. Cars driving by.
It stopped for a second though.
I'm sorry, I'm not spooked. Look at that light over there. Why is that flickering?
Because it's old, probably. I don't know. Can you manifest yourself? Spot 34 right here. Can you manifest yourself next to my wife? Maybe just for a second. Don't move. There's no harm. Just curious people. not so sure I see anything either yet. I can see hot spots, but not cold.
Is your finger over the camera?
No, you just leaned in. No, I just saw it. So, oh my god. You goofball.
Yes.
What are you hearing out of that thing?
Nothing. Not really anything.
Yours is the hardest one out here.
Aw.
Why? Because somebody broke my antenna a while ago, and I just haven't replaced it.
Why?
What I'm probably going to end up doing with this particular box is we're going to update it to an SP11. So that's the newest model. But I think we're going to go with headphones. Like I just ordered like bulk earbuds,
Cool.
so I can just pass them out. You guys keep them, kind of thing.
Okay.
I just wanted some feedback. Do you think that would help you more so if you had a piece in your ear?
Probably. It would help distract from the cars and the
Right.
traffic and stuff too.
And in here, you
so.
can turn it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, just we're not bothering anybody. But again, you have the hardest one out here just because it doesn't have an antenna range on it. You can see
Yeah.
there's a piece of electrical tape on long
Yeah.
so nobody gets cut. But yeah, some kids snapped it off.
Oh.
There was near this gate. It was too cold. I don't know if it was the metal itself or might wanna. I don't know.
If you said something on the video, then I'll catch it.
Yeah, with her.
Yeah, I was looking at
she
it,
saw
and
it
there
too.
was like,
I mean, I don't know for sure. I can't.
It looked like a straight up and down thing, but it kind of also looked like a
But it's not-
doorway or something.
But,
Okay.
Like,
but the thing is, it's not there now.
And that's the good thing.
Only
It's not-
spot is right here. It's not there now. It was actually in the, I think it was in the doorway.
you were also standing farther back, and it was all like red, and then there
Yeah.
was like a little, like a
It's definitely
figure kind of
What's
thing.
funny is this is not the original space for the doorway of the home. So
Okay.
this belonged to the restaurant that was just here a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
So this wall wasn't theirs, this gate wasn't theirs. This would have been the carriage house over on the corner this way, so the center of the gate would have been moved over this way.
Okay.
So this would have been the center of the house, not over here. So, but the funny thing is that people, when they're using like the digital spirit box, the one with the words on it, like the word gate will show up all the time here, like when they're standing up in this area, they'll get hallway, meeting, which would have been like a meeting room on either side. So I don't know how much you know about like the way our houses are laid out from back in that time, but
I have no idea.
no, of course it's flash on you guys. But I haven't even pulled this guy out yet.
I haven't caught anything like that since though. I mean, it was almost like that, except blue.
Okay. Well, we'll just definitely have to keep an eye on it. I'm gonna actually let you play with this guy too.
Okay.
So just because he said he wanted to learn more stuff. So to get the motion piece of this, you pull the antenna up, and then there's two little white buttons in the back. The one closer to the edge will turn it on. You just have to click it all the way into
Let's
place.
try the.
And then there's a button here on the right hand side that will reset it. So if something breaks it, like where this thing is going wonky, not from your movements, you just click the bottom button down here, and it'll reset the EMF field up here. Anything above 2.5, I'm going to be excited about.
Okay.
So you guys can have something else to play with.
Okay, thank you. So right over there, he said it was the slaver, right?
Now look over there. Come.
Yes. I'm telling you that might have been nothing but it's worth looking at. You want to go stand in the corner?
Yeah, it's fine. Are you?
So her name is Eliza? Well, let's back up just a little bit. And your thing went off. Okay.
We went up to a 6 a second ago.
Slow. Go slow. Oh. Okay, so something over there? Oh. Yeah, that's a pole. Everything's going crazy. What did it get up to? What did it get up to at one point?
Like a 6.
A 6. Some rap music. That was a voice.
No, it's just jumped up to a 14.
And it was a voice at the same time.
And if this thing gets... See?
Did you hold... You didn't hold it up to it, did you?
No, but I'm saying if something comes close to this antenna, it'll...
Is that you, Eliza? So my wife's holding a device. Can you stand next to it? Maybe give us a name? Go slow.
You wanna hold it?
Hey, we're gonna. Uh-oh. There's a car coming. Give it a pause. Hello. Walk towards the corner.
Over here?
Yeah. Just the name. We could use a name. I know Eliza. Can you say Eliza as well? Can you stand next to my wife and tell her your name?
Can you make this light go off?
That would be
I'm gonna
nuts.
shit myself.
No, you wouldn't. That would be a good thing.
I think like when you were saying that it's would be better, honestly.
Maybe. Just keep trying. We haven't walked the whole thing yet. Can you tell me the name of your home? Or the name of the street that your home is on? Grab them.
Or a doctor. Me with the ball.
Is it like going up again? No? They just did it once. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna record you then. Just keep asking questions. Here. Hold this.
It's about to die. The battery's dying on it.
Okay. So keep asking questions. Ow.
Alexa, are you here? Please, because these are too close together. I don't think it's a good idea for me to be holding both of these at once.
Well, I can't pay attention to both. I mean, I could. I'm gonna pan over just a little bit. Where?
Alexa, tell me where you live.
Alexa? Putting his top down. Can you come stand next to this car? That would be amazing.
Anything crazy on your end, Trey?
Not yet.
Alright, I'm gonna bring everybody up over here.
Like right over here.
Yeah.
The 20 was right there. Like as you enter the parking.
So in this lot, I've seen that go as high as 149. And the device that Scott has, just so you know, only goes to 25.
Oh, wow.
So the ones you see on TV, like they're blinking, that's why they're so impressive on television, because it's so sensitive. But I actually had that at the St. Augustine Lighthouse, the lighthouse keeper's house. It went up to 198, gave me an error. I left the room, shut it off, turned it back on, went back in, got another 198, but then it reset itself back to 0.
It's also saying it has a low battery.
Oh yeah, we're gonna swap that out.
I don't know if that's because it's not charged or not.
No, it actually takes a 9 volt.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny, it's because I just changed that one out like 3 nights ago. It usually lasts longer than 3 nights. So let me pull the ladies over here, and we'll get you guys some answers.
It's completely stopped now. I think it's completely stopped now. Like,
Oh no. Point it at me again. So it doesn't read the phone. And it was just 2.
Oh yeah, see.
Take it.
Okay.
All right. So, a couple of just what we have so far. Mainly seems to be coming up on the digital word list. I mean, obviously you're getting like 20 to 25 on your K2 meter. I did give the millimeter over to Kayla, and she's gotten a 20 milligauss reading. So I'm going to change her battery at the next stop. But the words, we did get the number 4 over on the word list. That's how many kids she had. And the word, was it wound or injury that we had? Possibly. I don't know. But there was one of the kids did get wounded in a Revolutionary War battle. So it was pretty prominent to them. And then she has the word dig, but again, without another gardening, term, I'm just going to call that, coincidence at this point. And of course, the cameras, it's sometimes hard to tell on these small screens, so that's why we upload everything. And Trey, you can probably take a break with that if you want.
Hit stop.
Yeah, just hit.
I'll record. Just why not?
But yeah, the Pinckneys are buried in the back. So Charles Pinckney, the husband, is here.
Look up brighter.
I think all of the. I think Charles Coatsworth is here. I think Thomas is over at St. Michael's.
Actually, they're hot. Same as the background.
Isn't that we usually hold on to the sunlight heat from the daytime?
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised when you said they were cold.
They were cold, I guess, just because.
You might have been looking at the wrought iron, like it's going to be colder.
Yeah.
Probably got a little bit of temperature difference there. But yeah, I'll shine lasers in here from time to time just to try to see if I can get any photos that way. Because the lasers, what's cool with those is once you shine them, you can't see the lasers themselves. You just see where they land. So until something passes through it, so I'll shine them in there and have somebody take a couple, 20, 30 pictures and see if anything pops up out of them. But it's kind of hard to tell because there's so many layers in here. All right, let's go talk about some pirates. What do you think?
Okay.
Pirates are always fun.
There you go.
Oh, that one requires a screwdriver too. I swear I just changed this guy out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's more knowledge than we knew, for sure.
There's only so much you can find.
Well, the interesting thing is when you can actually hear from the ghosts themselves instead of just the tour guide telling you stuff. That's why I don't give you guys all the answers right away.
Right.
A pirate ship. What was the name of the pirate ship? Calico Jack. I'd like to know the name of that.
does it make sense now why I had somebody pass out in here?
Yeah.
2 transgender males.
That makes complete sense.
Yep. Well, they even caught it themselves. So, like, when I had them sitting at the wall, you know, they were just like, "Can we tell you something?" I'm like, "Tell me anything you want to, man."
Yeah.
So, like, we're 2 transgender males. Like,
Wow.
that's the reason why Ash is, you know, not doing so well.
That's
Because of the
insane.
story.
I wonder if they like took the energy in. It was just too
Yeah,
much.
we actually had quite a bit show up that night too.
Wow.
So
That would be.
again, I've seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah. That's definitely up there.
I mean, that's part of, like, a story I probably will not take out for a while, just because of.
And that
You
was
know.
recently?
It was last week.
Last week. Wow.
Now your camera likes to act up in here too, by the way. Just keep that in mind.
It's flashing from hot ground to blue ground.
Okay. The things that I've seen in here is that it'll, if I have smaller groups, it'll, if I'm using a spirit box, or customers with me just using a spirit box, there'll be like a white film that goes over them, and then the spirit box will stop working. And the white film only shows up on the camera.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, some of the stuff you just can't explain.
It's a good smooth talk. I'm just gonna sit here. If you could maybe show up, manifest yourself anywhere I'm pointing this camera. Maybe against the wall. Could you tell us the name of the ship? If you haven't already. Calico Jack ship. I'm gonna go stand next to this tree, see if that works.
Steady right here.
Yeah? Okay. Might be a good place to ask questions.
I did. I'm not really getting anything. I'm just.
So what's the name of that pirate ship the Calico Jack came in on?
It's like the closer I get to the building, the higher the reading is. Kind of. What?
Give us a sign of your presence. Any sign. You can make me sick even.
The church is really pretty though.
Maybe you could give me a pat on the back, if you could. I know you liked a lot of dudes. I'm pretty handsome too. It was a joke.
And how many husbands did you have?
Give us a number. Keep trying. If you're here, tell us the number of husbands you had.
They're from Ireland.
Ooh. Gonna be something to ask. Do you miss Ireland? You want to swap? Do you want to swap?
No. I don't know what else.
Just keep asking the same questions. Or you can mix them up in a way. It's a cold pocket. It's probably a car.
Watermelon sugar. Oh. Much higher now.
You like Ireland? Why did you leave Ireland? Why did he make you dress as a man? Were you pregnant on that boat?
Hey, Ann, give us a sign you're here.
Any sign. Nothing yet.
Looking for your blue hair all over the place.
Sorry.
Anything coming up?
This is pretty steady, but...
It will be over here. You're close to
Ooh.
parking meters, and we have
Oh,
electrical
that's
posts
fine.
on each side.
That's why. Okay.
So, anything coming out of your spirit box?
Yeah. I haven't really heard anything.
Okay.
Oh
Again,
my god. Quit
No,
freaking out.
it's not doing it because of that.
Yeah, it is.
well, this will go because of like your motion.
Yeah.
I normally hand it to females because you guys walk more gracefully than we do. So, and with that said, if you're moving around and it's going off, I just discount it like automatically. Cause
Yeah.
you can't, I mean, if you're standing still right now and it starts going off, then we have something.
Right.
But moving
Usually
around
when
with
I'm
it,
walking, it'll start doing it.
and you can set the range on it. I have it set pretty small because we're in motion. When I do this investigation this weekend, I'm going to broaden it up. So, I mean, it'll be this big. So, a bug passes by it, I'm going to know.
Right.
But it'll widen up because it's going to sit on a table somewhere.
Right.
So, we're doing this coffee shop in Knightsville. So I'm like, they claim to have old stuff up there. I'm like, all right.
Cool.
I'm like, another podcast episode, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So, and it's helping train the new co-host for the podcast. So
Nice.
the fact that she'll be involved, you know, instead of just doing the research part, so she'll be there. Plus they're bringing an SLS. I'm like, yeah.
Oh,
I'll be
cool.
there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just another.
Yes.
Yep, it is another good. So, lots of them.
I was like, is
Yeah,
this?
this is like the corners. I usually tell my folks just to be mindful with the millimeters, just because they're.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's constant over here. I was
Yeah.
telling him I was like there must be some kind of like electro field or whatever.
It's 313.
Music. Guaranteed.
Aaron Tate, is that what it said?
I think so. Who's that?
Aaron Tate.
know.
Oh.
Just telling you what I heard. Hey, that was you.
Yeah.
You jostled it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this corner for some reason. I feel this is the sitting lucky number 13 right here. Point toward this. Point it toward that corner. Aaron Tate. You want Aaron Tate?
No.
I don't either. Country singer. What if we go over here? Do you like Ireland over here? If so, maybe you could show up on spot number 19 right here.
Shield.
Shield. I think those are just radio stations.
Yeah. That's what it's going through. It goes through radio stations and
Hold it away. You gotta learn to hold your arms apart. There's nothing here.
no.
Okay. Well, I'll just start recording. Ooh. Okay, you're moving. Don't be shy. Mm-mm.
P.
That was weird. That was like a breath. That was singing, really. It's gonna pick up the truck.
Why isn't it saying ring?
How about spot 22? Okay. Turn back around.
Huh?
Point it back toward that. Hold it still. I'm just trying to figure it out.
I see it goes off sometimes when you jostle it.
Hold your hands still then. Picked up a lot of music that time.
Huh?
Alright, let's head over this way and get this party wrapped up. think the white noise is putting Naomi to sleep.
Try the building. See if we can't grab something off the building real quick.
I'll turn this down.
Tall, jacket, and handsome. I'm like, got the whole description of somebody. I don't know who the heck is supposed to.
Didn't give you a name either.
Yeah, we don't have any names.
We were trying. Big time over there.
Yeah.
Well, based on what I've seen tonight, like this is definitely a lighter amount of activity that I've seen. Just putting it out there. So I mean, we did get a lot of K2 readings out of Pinckney, so that's pretty common. What was the highest number you saw on yours?
Like 20.
Yeah, that's right. We did get the 20 out of that. So hopefully, we got a gate thing I got to look at on the thermal imaging camera. So we'll see what happens with that. And of course, I don't have a whole lot of footage of St. Philip Cemetery, so I'm always curious to watch footage of that. So we'll kind of see what happens there. I don't have anything else that was very specific as far as like we didn't get any kids' names, we didn't get any dates, anything like that. And of course, the 1.5-inch screen we have. The story that it's on the digital spirit box. We have the name Zoe spelled properly, which is relevant to the Pugins Porch Ghost. So I'll definitely be giving you that link to see what kind of happens there, and then we'll see what that Z or N was that
I
you
went
saw.
back over and it was there again.
It's still there.
I saw it.
Interesting. Just don't know what it could be. Like,
Just
why are
trying to
you seeing a
understand.
Z or an N in there? It's weird. So I'll definitely be checking. It was recording, correct? Okay, so I'll definitely be looking at